Good morning. Today we are working on packet number 2, which is due on October 14th. That is the Tuesday of MEA. We want to go into MEA break with no homework. So, our first page says, ice hockey, football, basketball, and golf are the favorite sports of Shelby, Ashley, Gary, and Greg. Gary does not like ice hockey or football. Shelby's favorite sport is not played with the ball. Greg's favorite is neither basketball nor golf. And Ashley does not like a sport that uses a stick or a club. What sport does each person like best? We need to keep in mind this very important part down here. It's not letting me underline it or star it, but please remember why my answer makes sense. So I should not just see, okay, this happened in the other class too. I am going to switch to my document camera because it's not letting me actually write on that. So let me switch over. Do this. All right. So it does say why my answer makes sense. Your final answer, I should see Shelby likes this sport. Ashley likes this sport. Gary likes this, and Greg likes this one, but I have to have why the answer makes sense. It could be just showing the work that you did. What I did was I had my 4 people, Shelby, Ashley, Gary, and Greg up here, and then I had my sports, hockey, football, basketball, and golf. And I did my logic. What can I cross off? I know that Gary does not like hockey or football, so I can cross those off. Shelby's favorite sport is not played with a ball. So football has a ball, basketball has a ball, golf has a ball. Ooh, I know what Shelby's favorite sport is. Show me your logic on how you get your answers. Our second page, Marissa calls 2 members of her softball team. Marissa is a part of the softball team. She calls 2 members to tell them their practice schedule for the week. Each of those 2 members calls 3 members of the team. Okay? Then they all call people. Make a chart so I can see why your answer makes sense and tell me how many members altogether are on the team. Then we have our 5-card challenge. Something fun that you can do when we have a 2 in our 5-card challenge is we can use that to square things. So you could say 5 squared, that'll count as 2 cards. The 5 card and the 2 card. And then you might do something with that, adding or subtracting, okay? So we can use those exponents, especially with that 2, we like to see that happen, and it helps us get to some fun answers that we can come up with. Keeping in mind, order of operations matter. So think about that PERMDAS. You might need to use parentheses if you want to add or subtract something before you multiply or divide. So really think through if you need to use parentheses. And your answers should all equal that 10. So you are only using these 5 numbers in equations to equal 10. There's only 1 card of each number, so you can only use the number once in your equation. On our next page, we need to figure out, fill in the table for yellow blocks, blue blocks, and total blocks. On my answer sheet, it just made sense for me to also fill in the pink because it helped me with my total numbers to see if I had it right. I won't check to see if your numbers are correct in that pink column, but you can always fill it in. There's nothing wrong with doing more work than what it's asking for you to do. In our first figure, we have 1 yellow, no blue, no pink, so we have a 1 total. In our second figure, we have 1 yellow, 2 blue, no pink, so we have 3 total. Then we have 1 yellow, 2 blue, 2 pink, so 5 total. Then we jump up, we added on 2 yellows, so now we have 3 yellow, still 2 blue, still 2 pink, so now we have 7 total. Figure out your patterns and complete all the way down to figure 10. For our goofy shape, remember perimeter is adding up all of our sides, making sure we know all of those sides to add up for our perimeter. And then for the area, remember that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So when we get a goofy shape like this, we break it into shapes that we know to find those areas. Length times width, length times the width, so figure out what your width is. Here, you're going to want to be careful. Your base is that 6 right here. Your height is how far the base is from the tip of the triangle. So your height is on the side. It is not the 10. That's the diagonal. Diagonal is never a height in our triangle. The height always goes from the base to the tip. So keep that in mind when you're figuring out that area of the triangle. Our next page, making that net. This time it's not as easy as our cube because we have different measurements. When I do this, I like to start with my bottom. So my bottom has the 3 by the 4. So I've got 3, 4, 3, 4. So I've got my short and my long. Then I do my sides. So for this one, I know if I'm going to fold this side up, it has to be the same measurement as this. So when they, oh, nope, sorry. The 4 is the same length here. This one, coming up the side here, if it's a 3 here, it's a 3 here. And then I see my height is the 5. And if my height's a 5 here, my height has to be a 5 here. Because as I fold them up, the 5 has to match up with the 5. So I would put a 5 here. Then on this side, I should have the 3's going all the way across. 5 matches up with the 5. And I know the opposite side is going to be a 5. So now I'm going to do my 4th side. The 5 matches up with the 5. 5 matches up with the 5. 4's all the way down. Now those are my 4 sides. Now I need to do my top. My top has to match with the bottom. So I've got my 3 and 3 and my 4 and 4. Be careful. Make sure your sides when you fold up match up. Make sure your top and your bottoms match. Then you find your area for each of those squares. 3 times 4, 4 times 5. Okay, so find the area of each of these, not squares, rectangles. You add up all the areas to get that surface area. The important thing to remember is you are going to have different measurements you're working with. So make sure as you're folding it up that they match up. I normally don't walk us through exactly what all the measurements would be, but this is the first time that we're having a net with different measurements. So I did walk us through it. So we remember, go one side at a time, matching up your measurements. Over here, that volume of a rectangular prism is the length times the width times the height. So length times the width times the height, 3 times 4 times 5. Put your answer here. Our measurements is centimeters cubed because we multiplied 3 centimeters together there, so it's centimeters cubed. Then we do the pre-algebra. What is the sum of the figure's edges? So figure out all of these edges. What measurement are they? So this is a 3, this one's a 3, and this is a 3. 4, 4, 4, and 4. Now figure out the 5s, add all of them together, and tell me how many centimeters altogether the measurements add to. This page, it's a logic one, similar to our first one. It's a little bit more complicated. So really think through what the clues are telling you, what you can cross off, logically what has to happen, what needs to be where. So you need to tell me which colored notebook has which sticker on it. This page is an extra credit page because there is no pre-algebra question. So it's just read through it and get an idea of what it's telling you. You can do it if you want. You can do the algebra for extra credit, but you don't have to. I do want you to read through what it is that you would be doing. And our last page is that polyomino. So just like the last time, you have to slide these figures over. You cannot rotate. You cannot flip. You only can slide over, and there is a way to fit them all in correctly. So that is our packet number 2. If you have questions on any of the pages, make sure you come see me. Make sure you turn it in early. I had a few of us that turned it in the day it was due, so it wasn't late. But we were doing quite a few of the pages wrong. We don't want to be doing our pages wrong and then getting them all wrong. You have 3 weeks to work on this. Turn it in early. If you get it to me by next week, Friday, we can learn from your mistakes and fix them up so you can get full credit on the packet. Turn it in early. Make sure your name's on it. Turn it in early so we can be working on fixing it up. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day. Don't forget to like and subscribe.